Will the clerk please call the roll?
Anita Francis.
Here.
Walter Hayes. Holly Levine.
Here.
Bob McAfee.
Here.
David File.
Here.
James Shanks. Roger Spencer.
Here.
Carol Wilbur.
Here. If you'll all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gracious God, as we come to you this day to begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen, we ask that you impart upon us your wisdom and guidance so that we may promote justice, assist those in need, and provide for the overall well-being of the citizens of Carl Junction. Amen. Okay, we will move on to approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any comments or corrections on the agenda this evening?
Motion to approve the agenda. Sorry. I'll second it.
Okay. Motion by David, second by Roger to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. Seven. No, six. Six in the affirmative with 2 absent. And then approval of the minutes from the previous meeting and approval of disbursements for the consent agenda. Does anybody have any comments on the meeting minutes or disbursements?
Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Motion by Roger, second by David to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. Next, we will move along to public forum. Is anybody here to speak on public forum this evening? Nobody? Okay. Move right along. We will go on to our annual update from Retail Strategies. We have got Cam and Stephen with us this evening.
Good evening, Council. How are you guys doing? My name's Cam South, Retail Strategies. My partner, Stephen Dindy, here. We're out of Birmingham, Alabama, is where we headquartered. We're currently partnered with the city for retail recruitment. Do we have the slideshow pulled up? Or? Oh, okay. Well, give me 1 second. I got it. Unless you have an extra copy. Well, awesome. Well, thank you. All right, so quick little slideshow here. It's kind of going over some of the aspects, attributes of our contract and some of the momentum that we have here, and some updates on current projects and outreach we're doing here on behalf of you guys. So just for, a lot of you guys that don't know about us, we started out as a national, just your basic commercial real estate company. From 2008, we kind of grew out that recession to have work with municipalities to help grow retailers in their communities, help strengthen their sales tax dollars. So we're birthed out of a commercial real estate, but now we have a national presence across the country from border to border, from East Coast to West Coast. So we have different lines of services as well. We have a downtown project or downtown line of services that work with communities to help bring in retailers and just really help that or boost that small business support. We have a retail academy that's more fit for clients that want to do this on their own. And then we have our full service recruitment services which we're contracted here with the city on. Some of the things that we provide and that we do on a day-to-day basis is look at our data and look at your data and compare and contrast in that for retailers. Data is part of the pie when it comes to retail recruitment, but we want to show that data and the presence to those retailers that it makes sense for them. For some retailers require certain data sets, whether that's a 3, 5, 10 minute drive time for certain retailers, and looking for that demographic, those demographics under those radius rings. Another thing that we provide is a boots on the ground. That's when we come to the community, tour the community, catalog sites. We have a program that we use internally to harvest those sites and make sure that they're fit for retail development, and it's a catalog that we keep in house to use when we're talking with the retailers. We had trade shows representing you guys there. So, it's a big piece of that boots on the ground tour. On a day-to-day life, Stephen is, working with these retailers on the phone with them, meeting with them in person, and just back and forth communication with them. We call it pleasant persistence in the world of commercial real estate and retail. It does not move fast. Always say this is a marathon, not a sprint. And especially at this time of the year here, it slows down a bit. So we're preparing for next year to get out in front of these brands that are expanding, new concepts, and understanding that, especially with the year starting off with ICSC Red River, it's a big trade show that benefits you guys a lot going into Vegas. Some of the, when you look at this ladder here, this isn't necessarily like, hey, this brand is better than another. It just shows the amount of sales tax here and job creations for certain brands here. And also, which it doesn't mention much about, is the synergy of bringing one of these brands in, which helps that structure, helps that ladder of bringing in another brand or co-tenants well with. Some of the things in our toolbox, we talk about custom trade area. That's a big one. That's one we presented on the recruitment plan, and then that's one where we're able to look beyond your city boundaries and look at your core consumer, which is about 70% of that core consumer what retailers are looking at. So we want to look beyond, what's in the city boundaries of Carl Junction. So, and that gives us an idea of, another idea or another way for us to attack and go after some brands that make sense for that custom trade area. A gap analysis or a leakage that shows the dollars being spent outside of your community, where we look at those categories and say, hey, maybe it's in food and beverage where we need to strengthen some of our recruitment efforts, or does it need to be in general merchandise, clothing, wherever that needs to be. Those leakage numbers shows us, hey, this is a category we need to kind of focus on from the data perspective to research. Your tapestry or your mosaic, there's a bunch of different names or words you can call this. This here mirrors your consumer shopping habits and your patterns. Some brands look at this to understand, like, hey, is this the right fit for this brand? Will this be successful in this community? Mobile data tracking or geofencing is where we're able to look at our demographers' data pulled from cell phone data and different other data that is shared publicly, where we can look and see where those consumers are coming from. It doesn't pinpoint your house or anything like that. It's not like George Orwell in 1984, but it gives us an area or a block group for us to study to understand the consumer shopping and patterns. We have great relationships with developers on regional and national level. We're able to work with them to help incentivize projects or bring those opportunities to them, especially when it comes to bigger box development. I think Carl Junction is in need of much of new development, especially small shop space, and some of that general merchandise and clothing down that line. And kind of just not going to touch long on the boots on the ground again. As soon as we come to the community, look at the properties here, look at the trade area analytics, look at the consumer shopping patterns. And this here's an example, of that mobile data tracking, and this is done on the shopping center down the street here. So this kind of gives us an idea. Now, this is just one center. This isn't, all of the community here, but this is an example. So, looking at those annual visits, understanding what the foot traffic looks like, if there's enough, patterns that make sense, or in a certain sector that makes sense for certain retailers, so we're able to present that to them. Kind of going back on the gap analysis, you're able to look at, the market's supplying this, the consumer's demanding this is where these dollars are being spent outside of Carl Junction. Maybe it's being spent in Joplin, Webb City, wherever else. We're able to, aggregate that data to understand, like, hey, these are categories we need to focus on. Whether it's food and beverage or clothing that's at a $10 million gap in this consumer profile or this leakage report. Some of the things that, Stephen and I are focusing on, national, some of those national grocers, those are the ones are kind of the cream of the crop, especially in this time, on a macro level or a national level where grocery is hard to move right now. Those are some of the deals that take a little bit of time to do. just because they're very price sensitive right now from a consumer level, and it needs to be. It's the same thing with the grocer or the developer. Grocer developers, it has to be a very conscious deal to make these deals work. So fast casual restaurants, think down the line of, your Qdobas, your Chipotles, for examples of your fast casuals. QSR concepts, clothing, apparel, which is needed. We're currently working right now with an auto parts retailer, trying to get some home improvement opportunities going, or small lawn and garden retailers here to the community. Some shoe retailers, hobby and craft, and convenience stores are some of the other ones we're focused on. So kind of the bigger picture here is kind of establishing the community and the CTA's uniqueness to the retailers, as well as understanding the struggles and the hurdles that the community has as well when it comes to national retail and kind of our recruitment efforts. And that's kind of part. We want to bridge those things, tell the story to these retailers and the brokers. And again, trying to have that regional presence with the brokers and itinerant brokers that handle your community and that live within, this area. So this is very redacted. If you want unredacted, that's going to be Holly's and Steve. Kind of discretion to give that information to you, but as in just public forum here, we have to keep it very redacted. So the information here is from a couple reports that we've delivered this year that are unredacted of this information. So if you want further information, feel free to reach out to me or reach out to Holly and Steve. But again, back, I want to say about a year and a half ago, we've gotten some good traction from that national auto parts user. We had them on a current space down the street. I'm trying to not, again, be very specific just for public use here. But the opportunity was kind of unique. Property owner, has has a path that they want to go down versus kind of what is needed, what this user needs. So we're trying to pivot them to another opportunity here that's we're working on, that we actually have some custom marketing material for, and that Stephen and I are working personally here in the community. We have a couple fast casual restaurants that we're working on to get them in place as well. The opportunities that we have here right now aren't the right fit. So it's just going to be new construction. Again, back to the site where we're trying to pivot this opportunity, possibly get a developer to come into play to build this space out. We reached out to a numerous amount of groceries, some of those regional as well as national grocers, to take a look at the community as well. QSRs down that line, there's one to give a little bit more depth. We have a franchisee we're working with the franchise developer to get a franchisee going for the community. It just doesn't have the rights secured right now for the area. I think they're looking for a multi-store commitment, and so they're trying to source out other opportunities here in the region, including you guys. We just have to, kind of wait for their franchisee development director to kind of give us a green light for the opportunity. We've looked at some travel center concepts there off of 171 to possibly take a deeper look. Travel center is going to want those higher traffic volumes, of constant traffic coming through. They're not more of like your regional convenience stores, or not where you have a certain part of the day that's busy or that's not. So they're not going to be more infield in the community. They want to be, more outfield of where those higher traffic counts are. So think about Highway 171. We're working with some coffee users. We're working with one, that if you look at the news, trying to be redacted here, they closed about 600 stores, or about 1% of their portfolio. It's a national coffee brand, very familiar with, where we've got feedback that was positive, but they've gone kind of dark, and I think that's just part of them not looking at current expansion now, especially in more of a smaller town, rural market opportunities. We also worked with this year a regional home and garden, farm to home concepts for the community here. They don't have location. Well, they have a location somewhat nearby, but right now their expansion plan into Missouri is not. They're just not ready to expand in Missouri. So we're continuously trying to monitor that feedback as we go. Here on a couple property updates, that large 30-acre tract that we're working, you can probably guess what that is. The city's very involved with this here to get opportunity to come to the site. We have our marketing team make some custom data and some custom marketing material for us to use to highlight the opportunity. So that's being finalized up and should be ready to go. And we're also worked on another property near the high school for an opportunity, and we've had some developer interest on it. They want to see some more residential growth in the community, and there are some new projects coming along here that I think will, help spur the developer and or developers to, come aboard a little bit sooner. And right now, that's all I got. I'll take some questions if there are some questions.
Any questions or comments, guys?
If there are any after the meeting, feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Holly, Steve, and we'll get those answered accordingly.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Cam. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay. We will move along to ordinances. We have an ordinance approving an MOU with the Area Agency on Aging. I think we have Ms. Jennifer Shotwell here to speak on this.
Good evening, councilmen and women, mayor. Thanks for having me. As you've probably heard, the government shutdown that occurred that is recently over has stalled our funding. We operate on a reimbursement basis across 4 counties, Barton, Jasper, Newton, McDonald, and of course, for those of you who are unaware, the senior center here in this building. Consequences to lack of funding include I don't get reimbursed. So I'm a nonprofit. We are now coming close to the end of November, and that will be 4 months that I'm waiting for my invoices to get paid. We don't just get funding. We are reimbursed every expense that we have under the rules of the Older Americans Act. I stood here about a year and a half ago and said what a beautiful act the Older Americans Act was and how it combined federal, state, county, local, and nonprofit together as we care for people in our communities that are aging and have very diverse needs. Last year, in our 4-county area, we provided over 500,000 services to older adults. That included 362,000 meals. Here in Carl Junction, we had 9,600 some odd meals. And when I see that figure, I think that's 9,600 meals that weren't eaten alone. Because it's important for an older adult to come together and not become socially isolated. It's devastating to their personal health. We also delivered 9,600 home-delivered meals right here in this community to older adults who can't access their own nutrition. Carl Junction has about, 8,500 people. Census data says that about 1,200 of those are over the age of 65. We served last year about 35% of the age-eligible people, which is an incredible amount when you consider that our age eligibility starts at 60 years old. So most 60-year-olds that I know are still working or have gone back to work, like my husband. So it's telling that the success of the Carl Junction Senior Center is because of the community. So now we come to funding. There is a limit, a hard end to where the Area Agency on Aging will be. If I can't reimburse somebody's salary, I don't expect them to work. If our federal and state funding doesn't start flowing soon, we're going to hit that wall. The state of Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services has told the 10 area agencies on aging in Missouri that it will be at least 8 weeks before they will be able to access the funding that flows through the state from the federal government to repay our invoices. So this ordinance is really a bridge loan, if you will, if we get to that point, to keep the senior center open. There is no debate in Congress, fully bipartisan, the bill passed the Board of Alderman's Act. Yes, it was at 2024 rates, which is 2023, 2022. We haven't had an increase in funding over 4% in 10 years. How did we get here? How did we run out of money so fast? Last November, the Missouri voters chose to increase the minimum wage. We had about a month and a half to increase $1.45 per hour for 26 employees with no additional funding. It ate up our reserves all year as we scrambled to find ways to readjust our budget. What are our priority services in the community? Scale back on some of those. And now here we are in November, we're going to have another hit in January. So what I'm asking is the same as Webb City, Neosho, and the city of Joplin, that should we get to that point where I have to stop spending money as an agency, can we at least cover the wages of the kitchen staff and the actual food costs to keep lunches flowing until those bills get paid? The Older Americans Act was created in 1968. We have had area agencies on aging since 1973. We're going to be here and those invoices will be paid. But as a nonprofit, I don't have a lot of resources to fall back on. And the spirit of Carl Junction to take care of its citizens, to watch out for all citizens, also includes those older adults that come to lunch every day here. If anybody has any questions about that MOU, I can answer what I can.
Make a motion that we put the ordinance on first reading by title only.
Motion by David, second by Bob, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving a memorandum of understanding by and between the Area Agency on Aging, Region X, Region 10, and the City of Carl Junction, Missouri to provide temporary assistance through a short-term repayment plan to provide nutrition programs in the City of Carl Junction in an amount not to exceed $2,750 per week, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the city administrator and/or mayor to execute said memorandum of understanding.
So you got some donations.
We did, and that's how we've remained open through this point.
Right.
Very generous donations from the community.
And how much time do you have on that?
We're thinking that we're going to be good through about December 8th,
Okay.
unless, we are also talking to Governor Kiko to release some state general revenue funding that is part of our contract. The way that it's appropriated, it's meted out over 12 months. The lion's share of it is federal money, a little bit of general revenue. So we're asking the governor and our legislators to allow us to access that funding. This is one of those cases where I hope you all agree of the necessity of this, but it will be my last, it will be either we're going to feed people tomorrow or not resort.
Right. Yeah, so I'm definitely in favor of this. You know, we want to do everything we can to support, you know, our older citizens and our community. And, you know, I've been in here at lunch. It's very busy in here. A lot of people utilize it, and I think it's very important. Does anybody have any comments or questions on this?
Make a motion, we put the ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Roger, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title again?
An ordinance approving a memorandum of understanding by and between the Area Agency on Aging, Region 10, and the City of Carl Junction, Missouri to provide temporary assistance through a short-term repayment plan to provide nutrition programs in the City of Carl Junction in an amount not to exceed $2,750 per week, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the city administrator and/or mayor to execute said memorandum of understanding.
If there's no further discussion on this, I'll take a motion to put this on final passage.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by David, second by Roger to put this on final passage. This will be a hand vote to go to an electronic vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, please vote electronically. Okay, it is 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent, so that ordinance passes. And that will be ordinance number 2540. Okay.
Those that we serve also thank.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Jennifer, and let us know if there's anything else we can do to further assist you.
Crazy times we're in.
I agree, thank you. All right, we will move on to reports. Our first will be our long-term project report from Steve.
Don't think I have anything to add to it.
I will tell you, we got the second reimbursement today from UNB on the water improvement project for around $140,000.
Oh, good, okay.
Water containment.
Mhm. Do you want to go over the community forum for tomorrow real quick?
Yep, tomorrow afternoon, starting at 3 o'clock, will be another community forum for the strategic plan. Starts at 3 o'clock and will end at 8 o'clock. And what they've done is they took all of that information they had from the first one, kind of got it down to a usable number of things. And this time what people will be able to do is they will be able to look at those individual boards and they will be able to vote on the items that they think are the priorities for the community. And they'll have basically a board for each park. They'll have one for this building. There will be one for streets, and sewer and water is going to be a little bit different, but that way they can build a priority list for us that the community wants to see. We'll be able to take that list then and put dollar amounts to it, try to get a schedule in there of when we need to go out and what we want to do first, you know, if what we want to do with the bond issuance coming up. So it'll be that final step for the community, and then we'll get a master report after that.
And this is a come and go event for people, right?
Come and go event from 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock.
And
How is that different from what we did before? We voted with dots all over those boards, so how is it?
yeah, so now they have compiled all the ideas and kind of made like a blueprint or a map at the area parks, you know, so they want people to come in and vote on these different things. Like, do you want to see this improvement at the park or no? Or would you rather, you know, another park get the attention?
So just narrowing it down?
Right, yeah. So our wish list is pretty big, you know, but our money is not pretty big, so. Anything further you'd like to hit on there?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
That's all good.
Let's see, I believe we received a treasurer's report. Does anybody have any questions on that or comments? Okay, and then my next one here is Police Department report. Chief, do you have anything you'd like to report on? Any questions, comments for the chief? Okay, thank you. Public Works report here. Splash pads all closed down, and then are all the bathrooms all closed down?
I think Lakeside is still
Okay. All right, thank you. Anything you want to report on, Harvey? Okay, thank you, sir.
have a question on that.
Yes.
How is the well coming, or the one the pump that went out? Is that fixed yet, or?
That'll take, I think the one that we're repairing will take 8 weeks, and the new one will be probably 13 to 14-week lead time.
Elena, do you want to talk about your thing now?
Sure. So I sent you all the memo. Basically, we are in the same situation we were last year, where the way November falls with the timing to do water disconnections, we would have to shut people off on Wednesday prior to the 4-day holiday weekend. 15th is on a weekend, the 30th is on Saturday. We have to do bills by the 1st, so our options are either to pay people to come in on the weekend or not do water disconnections. Last year in November, we had the same issue, and the council that time elected to skip it for November. I just need to know what you want me to do this year.
I'm in favor of delaying that and giving people a couple extra days to make sure that payment is in after Thanksgiving.
So essentially, what we did last year was just didn't do it for November at all, and we did then for December.
That's just fine with me. Does anybody have any issue with that, or, okay? I think that's okay. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay. Committee reports, budget and finance. Walter's not here this evening, but we did have our audit review last week, and we are going to have another budget meeting after the new year. Code and nuisance, anything, Carol?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you. Human resources, Roger?
Yes, we had a meeting tonight on the evaluation for the city administrator, city clerk, and the police department, or the police chief, I mean, and we all agreed with it. We have the new forms, and Steve's going to make some other ones out so we can give them to Mr. Talley, and he's got his hands full this time because he's got to do the city administrator and the city clerks.
Okay. Thank you for that update. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that? Okay. Public facilities, David, anything?
Nothing beyond what Steve already mentioned about the public forum tomorrow evening. I'd just encourage folks to come out and see what the architects have come up with from the first round of input and then provide additional input.
Absolutely, thank you. Economic development, we had our update from retail strategies this evening. Okay, all right, we will go to unfinished business. Carol, any unfinished?
No.
David?
No, ma'am.
Okay, none for me. Roger?
No.
Bob? Nothing. Anita? No. Mr. Talley? Elena? Okay. Crystal? Steve?
One item, it's really a shot in the dark, rolling the dice, whatever you want to call it, with leaf pickup. This year, nature has not been kind to us. There's a lot of trees that have not shed their leaves yet. And so what Jay and I came up with was that we'll just add a week at the very end of the schedule, and because we get it every year, people call in and say, hey, they missed us, that type of thing. And we'll just add that week to the bottom end of the schedule and try to get more leaves picked up. Give people a little bit extra time. That last week will be for the whole city too. It won't be just one area. So as we get those people that call in, we'll get them on that list, and then Public Works will take care of that.
And then that last week, that's December?
That is going to be,
19th through the 24th.
that's the one on the schedule, so it'll be it'll be that week between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
And that'll be on a call-in basis, like people would have to call in, or
Yeah,
just
we'll
they'll make
that-
rounds?
That will be the easiest way to handle it, but if people don't call in and the guys are out, they're going to stop and pick them up. We have to keep those ditches clean for A couple of reasons. One of them is we don't want them to get wet and freeze because then we can't pick them up. It's just the machines won't do it. The other is we need to keep those ditches clean so that if it does rain, they'll flow.
I got one question. For Harvey, you got one machine or two?
Two.
You got the big one and the little one, right?
Yes, sir.
And they're both operational?
As of today, yes, sir. That's all I have.
Anything else on that? Okay. Okay, unfinished, Harvey?
No, ma'am.
Chief, any unfinished business? Okay, we'll go to new business. Anita?
No.
Bob?
No.
Roger?
No.
Nothing for me.
Oh, God.
Anybody?
No, ma'am.
Carol?
No, ma'am.
Steve? Crystal? Elena? Mr. Talley? Harvey, any new? Chief, anything new?
Just a reminder, Shop with Pop will be December 13th, that Saturday. Also, the first Saturday of December the 6th, the Lions Club Breakfast, proceeds from that will go toward Shop with Pop. So, invite everybody you can.
Absolutely. We'll definitely do that. The police department's looking for donations. If anybody is so inclined, we would appreciate it. All right, is there any other business before the council this evening?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Roger, second by David to adjourn. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, 6 in the affirmative. We are adjourned.